Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Anissa and today we're making some lovely buttery oatcakes. I'm going to just get right into the recipe. We're going to start with 105 grams of unsalted butter. I've let this come up to room temperature so it's much easier to whisk. And we're going to add 75 grams of caster sugar to our butter and cream it until it's really light and fluffy. I beat mine with a whisker for around 2-3 minutes. When it's looking nice and pale in colour and quite fluffy, we're going to add our next ingredients. So I've added 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and I'm going to add half a beaten medium egg. And we're just going to beat that together. Next we're going to add 150 grams of self-raising flour and a little pinch of salt. If you're using salted butter, you can omit the salt at this step. And we're going to fold this flour into your mixture. I just sort of cut it into the butter. It makes it a lot easier. It's going to seem like way too much flour at first, but then it does mix quite well to form your biscuit dough. So just keep mixing and pushing that flour into your butter and sugar mixture until you get a nice dough. When you've mixed your flour into your batter, it should resemble a mixture looking something like this. It should be slightly sticky, but not so sticky that you won't be able to handle it and roll it into balls later. I've poured some rolled oats into a bowl. I haven't bothered with a specific quantity. I add more as I need it. And we're just going to pick out a little piece of our dough right now. We don't want to go for anything too big. They do expand in the oven and I like to make really small oat biscuits. And we're using clean hands. We're going to roll that into our palm to make a little ball. Now you'll find if you dip it straight into the oats from here, the oats don't really stick to your batter. So what I do is I spread a tiny bit of butter into my palm, melt it onto there, and I roll those balls back into that butter. So it just coats it with a tiny bit of butter on the outside and then drop that into your oats and you'll find your oats stick much better onto your oatcakes, onto your oat biscuits. Then we're going to add that to a lined baking tray. I'm using some baking parchment and make sure you space them relatively far apart to give them space to expand. I've rolled my first batch and we're going to press a glazed cherry into the centre of our oat biscuits. Just press it down slightly. As it bakes, it will spread a little further, but I don't want to squash these too far because we want our oat biscuits to stay crispy on the outside but fluffy in the middle. I'm using French glazed cherries, although my favourite is Morello. And we're going to bake these at 180 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 12 minutes or until they're a slight golden colour on the outside. Look how perfect those oat biscuits are looking right now. And that's all there was to it. To make this batch made around roughly 30 oat biscuits. And you want to take them out when they're a lovely golden brown and leave them to cool on a wire rack, and you end up with these lovely, delicious, crispy, cutest little oat cakes ever. And you can just see how those oats have really baked into that crust. These are just delicious, especially with a glass of milk to wash it down. I hope you enjoyed the recipe. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, click that notification bell, and I'll hopefully upload more again soon. Thank you for watching.